Welcome to This Morning on Asake podcast, your daily dose of insightful conversation on current affairs, politics, and social issues. Please share and also follow us on social media at SiteZW. Now, stay tuned to today's episode.
A very good morning to you guys. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of This Morning on Asaka. My name is Brighton. Today on the show, we're going to be looking at the issue of the land tenure systems. The cabinet says they announced some of the changes that are happening there to the issue of the land tenure. I know some of people have 99-year lease tenure systems there. I'm going to read some of the resolutions that came from the cabinet meeting there that was held last night, and that looks at the issue of the land tenure system, in particular that the 99-year lease program. The land tenure system statement, in line with the section 292 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, are read together sections 289 and 293 and 294, that obligates the state to give security of tenure to every person and to alienate for value agricultural land, amongst other requirements. The government will implement the following measures. Number one, all land held by beneficiaries of the land reform program under 99-year lease offer letters and payments will now be held under a bankable and registrable, transferable, more secure document of tenure to be issued by the government of Zimbabwe. So what do you think about that, guys?
Good morning to you, Zeti.
Good morning, Northern. Good morning, Brighton. It is going to be those that have money. And those that have money in Zimbabwe is not me and you. It is ZANU-PF people. Why would you want to open it up field to legalize and regularize the corruption? It does not make sense. But again, that is the mechanism of flanking. It's called flanking. It is the ability to coerce people from the other side, the left side, the right side. So, title deeds. If therefore we need title deeds, why doesn't the government not give these people title deeds? Why do they only give the ability to sell? And then the person who you are going to sell to is going to have a title deed. It does not make sense. Then siza protector njani abantu, siza protector njani with amalend akhona ngamuntu akhona sengene kuma financial difficulty. If you are understanding what is Zimbabwe at this moment in time is in financial crisis. Sefuna, as I said, sefuna 2000 kuphele kuhambisa umama ku dialysis. So fanele thengise umhlaba ongasowakhe or a collective. We have turned around and did what the Rhodesians wanted to do but could not do it. The Rhodesians, in their craziness, in their racist, they take part of the land and the ezinye izinto ba protector ama Africans. This is why you've got African protected lands, native protected lands, where you cannot sell because they understood the complexity of hunger to these people. So now we just opened up and said we are privatizing every land. That's if you are going to do the same things that the Rhodesian government wanted to do and failed to do. Why did our people go and die for land? If now we are going to turn around and say, if freelancer can come in, 500,000, we are telling I'm a farmer 7. Because who can be telling when lama A2, lama A1, amangani, ewahlanganise be the farm. Enganga yena liyana yayibanjwe Mr. Smith. Ngiyakwanisa mina khathesi njengomfana wemakhokoba ngihambe emakhokoba khathesi ngithwele $100,000 ngiyeqoqodela abantu abahluphekayo that hold title to their houses. Eda mbaboleka imali kumbe babambise mbijana ngizagcina sengiyibambile izindlu zona leza, because you are turning around and calling people to do a judgment while they are suffering. Where is the protection? Abanye abantu abakazuzi lemhlaba nalo iland redistribution ayikafiki is got 200,000 people on standby. How are they going to be given free land if land is now being sold? And we think you can sell the land to indigenous people. That includes us. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks so much for that. Quite emotional what you're saying then. Good morning to you, freelancer.
Good morning. I personally think they have to say those people want land but apply before they do this. There are so many people out there who want land. If they can say omunye lomunye maybe bathi bengakakwenzi lokho maybe kunyelwe hectare or 2 hectares, hectare 2 hectares, hectare 2 hectares before they do this, because kulabanye abantu are going to benefit. Thina abanye abantu siyafuna ukulima but we can't get proper land, and we are taking land laphana ukuze kuthiwa khona this was there suthathelwa what. So I think they have to consider ukuthi people must apply abafuna land, and then babona ukuthi umuntu le land enganani, umuntu le land enganani. then upunyelwe nje hectare, then everyone can benefit before we do this, because vela abalelendo uyathola ukuthi omunye umuntu maybe uyabe charged 200 hectares A1. So I think kumele kube fair about Brighton. That's what I think, young man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Freelance, for that contribution. Looks like Uzetin Freelance are worried about Uti. Some might not get that opportunity. Yeah. It might actually increase the inequalities in our society. So Freelance is calling for fairness as well in that process there. Good morning, Bartholomew.
Good morning, Notleke and Brighton. I'm trying to look. Someone just invaded the land in 2000 and 1999 to a certain extent without any quantity distribution that wena uzophelela ngapha, wena uzoqalela ngapha. Now that person got 500 or 1,000 hectares. Is he gonna just sell to a gold mafia or pana there? Someone grabbed the land in 2000. He or she can't even develop that land. He can't do anything. He don't have even a tractor. Now he's saying, oh, opportunity. Let me sell it and get whatever amount. I'll give back the mic.
Thank you, Bartholomew, for sharing with us your views and thoughts. Sir Alfred, good morning.
Good morning. As far as I'm aware, if anyone, as long as Zimbabwean, from wherever you approach your DA, the district administrator. If you want a piece of land anywhere in Zimbabwe, ideally from your postcode, that is 18, the first 2 digits of your ID. You go there and you register. You go on a waiting list to be allocated your piece of land. This issue is quite close to my heart because, if I may speak in Shona, indinobva kuWirisha, where kuWirisha kune ma-farms, ma-old farms akudara, ema-99 leases, 99-year-old leases anamdara edu awakapiwa. And these farms are being subdivided. The same thing, people from the local region were invited. If you want a piece of land from these farms, come. And from our farm, the farm which was divided, our farm, I think there were about 10 plots which came out of that farm. And only a few people, I think about 3 or 4, approached the DA to say, we want a piece of land to do this. Okay. And the other side of the argument is, one of the best things about having a lease like this is, when you have your lease, 99 years, you can approach the bank and say, I've got a 99-year lease, I want a loan against the property which I have. At the moment, when you don't have that, you don't have security, you don't have assurity, or what we probably call liability to go and borrow money from the bank. Thanks.
Well, thanks so much for that. Quite interesting what you are raising. Africa Center for Rural Economy, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you. I think for me, the first thing that I would point out is I think it's now widely held that land reform has been a success. Over 150,000 families resettled. Of course, there are still issues around the economic efficiency of how that process works out. And this announcement towards refining land tenure marks a significant step in optimizing that economic efficiency of land reform and how we go ahead. And particularly, once you reform one part of the system, is we have to reform other complementary institutions, and in particular credit. Now, the old system where the old agricultural customer that still insists on title deed is gone, which is why our banks charge us so much to replace the business that they lost. Now, this is very critical in that it opens up an opportunity for farmers to access credit, but then crucially, for our banking sector to access a vast new swath of agricultural customer that is desperate for financing. And that is very crucial for economic growth. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for sharing with us your views and thoughts. Good morning, Kalakanishas.
Good morning. To me, this is a welcome and a good news to hear that at a certain point somebody, especially ZANU-PF, can still remember that the land reform is one of the reasons why Zimbabwe went to the revolution that it went through. It's a welcome development, the discussion that is being put on the table, because in wealth creation in a country, there is need for a balance to understand that the people actually have the wealth and people must tap from the wealth. Yet, the fact of the matter that makes it a bit precarious is that saying and doing are two different things. It's a matter of trust that the people have right now. The discussion is right. The documentation or the looking into changing of the laws is right. But people do not trust the government in the sense that the distribution of the land and the other discussions that we have had and what we've unearthed is that some people own too much land than necessary. And the fear now is that people think as it is, this will give the ground to those people that have got more land to sell more land and make more money. That is where the issue is. But in actuality, the matter that the subject of discussing it or legislating it is very important and essential in the economy. If there is sincerity, the problem is always in trust. Let me end there.
Thank you so much, Ankala Kanishas. Quite interesting as well, all the views that have been shared here this morning.
We've come to the end of the show. I've come to the end of the program for this morning. For myself, Brighton Ngube.
And Nonhlanhla Mapigwa.
Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. For feedback, you can contact us on 263 777 470017. Don't forget to follow and like our social media pages.